Office. The server restarts in 3, 2, 1.
All right, so here we are, back again. It is.
Are we?
Yep.
Back
we are.
again.
We're actually back again. We're starting for real, and we are roughly 4 days after the launch of 9.0. So by the time this comes out, it'll have been nearly a week, and so I guess we will discuss some of the changes, our opinions about them, and how angry we are about things, and how I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent, really. I mean, I play a DK, and they're for the most part pretty much the same. They just gave us back a bunch of spells I got to figure out how to use in a rotation.
I will say that's probably like one of the weirdest things is the like for warriors they gave all warriors all the shield abilities and stuff, which I think we had once upon a time. But now it's like, okay, well I have all these shiny glowing skills in my skill book or spell book. I don't want to put them on my bars. I'm not going to use them. So they're just a bunch of stuff there that's kind of like,
Well,
well, if you just so happen to need to pull out a shield, you can
I
throw
mean,
these
you could
abilities on your bar and get
macro
down.
weapon swapping because you can weapon swap in combat. So you could actually
Yeah,
macro.
that's way too much for me.
I mean,
I mean, I think it's helpful if you are two tanking and a tank goes down, or even just regular one tanking and a tank goes down, and you have a warrior in there and they can pop a shield on, and because you are going to be able to change weapons in Mythic Pluses, so you can just pop a shield on, and until the tank gets up, you can do that. I mean, I don't know how good you would
Well, they
be
they give us
at it.
ignore pain and everything, so
Oh,
you get spell reflect, you get shield block, ignore pain,
dang!
intervene, yeah, all those basic tank items. So
Right,
damn, that
right.
is a
um,
lot.
I haven't looked at I haven't looked at Prot to see what the difference is there. Like if they got something from other specs.
They probably got a few spells, maybe some that were Azurite traits. Cause I know a few of those made it into either talents or baseline. Some talents may have been moved from talents to baseline skills. I know for Frost DK, the Frostworm's Fury, the big Cindergosa dragon, was a talent. It's now a baseline ability for Frost. They did that. They gave all the DKs got Raised Ghoul and or Raised Dead, whatever it's called, and Frost ended up with Death and Decay, which might be situational, I guess, but it might not be worth doing. Everybody has a Death Coil now, which again is wasted on a Frost DK because you don't want to spend your runic power on that. I mean, there might be some niche.
Does Death Coil heal? No,
I don't think it does anymore because I tried using it to heal my pet and it
didn't work.
never worked.
I was just
Oh,
wondering.
isn't that the one that was like damage or healing?
Yeah, yeah. When it first came out,
Yeah, you could heal undead with it.
yeah,
So you
and
could pop
and you could pop Lichborn and then
Lichborn, which
heal
turns
yourself.
yeah, Lichborn turns you undead, which all DKs have now.
That's what I was thinking
So you're
about.
immune to like fear, charm, and sleep. And you used to pop that and then death coil yourself. So, but I don't know if that's really a thing anymore.
Hmm.
But yeah, so
It's interesting so far. I mean, I really haven't had a chance to dig into too much at all. Obviously, the first thing I did was redecorate my undead, and actually, I think I redecorated every character I have. That's what I did first. But otherwise, I don't think I've gotten into much. That's what like I'm still I think I leveled through Exile's Reach with a rogue, and then started the started the Legion quest line because I'd never gone through that with a. There's a few classes I've never gone through the class hall stuff with, so it's like a whole new experience to go and do that. So I started that with a rogue, and then stopped. But I really wanted to see. That's what I was asking you earlier, Jim. Like how leveling was,
so
because
I started a hunter.
I was excited to see how quickly you could progress through those levels.
Well, I started a hunter and went through Exile's Reach. He's still at the end. He's like on the part where you leave. But I just keep logging in, queuing, and doing the dungeon some more. He's almost level 12.
Oh, really? I didn't know
You don't
could do
have to
that.
leave. You can still just queue. I just wanted to see if I could get more gear from it. I switched him to survival to see if there was any like two-handers or whatever he would get, but I haven't seen anything drop yet. I might do it for a little bit longer. I did go and tame. There's that elite bear called Killclaw that's in there that you go see the signpost and pick up the quest, go kill him and loot the chest or whatever, and he's a big elite mob. And he's got like a staff or a pole arm sticking out of him. So I went and tamed him, but when you get him, he's just like this weird looking bear with no weapons sticking out of him. So I was kind of upset
that
about
sucks.
I know. They should have left it in there. But so I was running back up to the where you have to go free the dude before you queue for the dungeon. Ran across another hunter and I'm like, hey, before you leave, go tame the bear. Well,
Go
You're
tame the
telling
bear.
everybody the wrong information.
Go tame the bear.
well, I just said before you leave, tame Killclaw, because, I mean, you can. There's no restriction on it. So it's like, why not?
What
I'm
was his
waiting.
name?
I'm waiting for them to.
What was his name? Killclaw?
Killclaw is the, Killclaw the something or whatever. And
Terrible?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a pretty neat looking bear, even after you've tamed him.
I'm waiting for them to make pets that you've tamed on other hunters available to you, like a bind on account.
Like,
because
Well,
I
I
have
saw somewhere that somebody you could tame Algon.
Elegon.
You can
Oh,
buy
yeah.
a book
Yeah.
for, is it Celestials or is it the Sky Serpents?
I don't know.
It's one of those. So it's either like the Pandora Dragons or it's, which I think that's what it is. And he falls under that category like a Sky Serpent. So you can get the book, teach to your hunter, and then you can go tame them and then break the raid.
It looks really cool.
So is that new or is that old?
Yes, that's new.
Okay.
Also, currently, undead race are able to tame undead mobs. Everybody else will be able to tame them after Shadowlands comes out and the skill book becomes available. But they gave it to the undead race, like just natively.
Like, tame what?
Undead animals like bears and stuff like that, like the undead bears and.
Let's think big. Let's think the Iron Brood Vanquisher. Let's think
I
you
don't
go
know what that
before
is.
you get to the loot ship in ICC. That big dragon,
Nuh-uh.
that big, it's undead, ain't it?
I don't know.
I bet it is, and I bet that would be a motherfucking awesome pet.
Interesting.
I might have to go do that because that
Think
would be
big.
that would be sick as shit.
Well, dude, the bear that you tamed looks awesome,
They shrink down considerably.
Yeah.
but he has no weapon sticking out of him.
No, he's just got like the gnarl, like rot or whatever the hell's on him, like the disease-ridden look kind of thing. But
That sucks.
Gnarly.
he's very gnarly, tubular.
Disappointing,
Hang 10,
though.
dude.
I was disappointed that the weapon disappeared, but
Oh, are you the one that posted it on Wowhead that it doesn't keep his club?
yeah, probably. No, I don't.
But
Post
he
it
does
on.
retain his full name and title?
Yeah, he did. So like,
That's cool.
well, like the first thing I did was like, oh, tame a pet. So I'm like, okay. So I went and just found the first thing, which is a porcupine, and it renamed it Rodent. And I'm like, what the fuck? You could have just left porcupine there.
Yeah.
You had to call it a fucking rodent. I mean, yeah, they're rodents.
So offensive.
Huh?
Yeah.
So offensive.
Yeah, but Exile's Reach is pretty fun.
Yeah.
I found myself because was it?
Oh, yeah, because you can get it done in like, what, 30 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I did the PTR. I did it on the PTR to try it out. And I did a warrior, and there was like a mob you have to fight on a bridge that teaches you a skill, and I forgot that. So on my hunter, I'm like, why is there nothing on this bridge here? Because it was warrior specific, so and I forgot that they have different quests in there that are for that. But yeah, no, so I've got 3 or 4 DKs from 45 to 50 since it hit. And it's a couple hours max, depending on what you do.
Were you just leveling, or did you dungeon or anything like that?
I did 1 or 2 dungeons, I think on like one dungeon on 2 different characters, and it's like close to a level, I think, maybe for that. But I mean, you could easily spam dungeons and do it pretty quick. But no, I was just doing quests, doing the invasion points, going over to, Drustvar and all that stuff. And I guess normally it would be you couldn't do the third one until you were 118. But because of the scaling, I think they've changed that, since you could potentially start BFA at level 10. It's probably level 40 or something like that for the last one, so I can just get on that character and do all 3.
What level were 110s put to?
45? Yeah, all my DKs are 45.
So it's just 5 levels. Is it easy to do?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I'm going to go level all my characters. All my 110s that I didn't touch during BFA, because BFA sucks.
I don't mind BFA, but...
Yeah.
But yeah, so what else have we got? Just a hot mess of broken add-ons and broken add-on updaters.
Mm-hmm.
The Twitch client still is just screwed up for certain add-ons, and it keeps telling you to update it, and then you update it. Either doesn't recognize that it updated it, or it
Oh, I thought they already turned it off.
No, the 20th is when Overwolf goes live.
Oh, well, that's good. At least they kept it up long enough.
What do you stream?
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. That's the last fight at the Dark Maul Citadel. That's the undead dragon that they raised.
Isn't
That
cool?
looks like something out of a fucking D&D book.
I know, right? It's funny
it's
because
really-
it's very fantasy. That whole experience is very fantasy.
Mm.
I think the whole ogre thing is pretty cool. Them randomly trying to summon some shit on some island is pretty badass.
Well, it's death magic, which is gonna tie into Shadowlands anyway, because it's really an unforeseen
They can do anything with it because it's not. We
Yeah.
haven't really experienced it except for the fancy
Sylvanas.
videos.
Well, the fact that they're opening the death magic and stuff like that makes me wonder if they're gonna be bringing up a necromancer class.
That would be very cool.
That would be badass.
Oh man, it's just
I mean, they'll fuck it up.
or if they gave Death Knights like a 4th spec and made them necromancers.
I mean, I wouldn't wish for that, because it's hell trying to manage 4 specs on one character. It's really bad.
They need a Diablo 2 necromancer class. And WoW.
I think if they were to you could make a necromancer class and you could have like a heal spec on it, where your heals are mainly draining the life force from enemies and transferring it to yourself or allies, if that makes sense.
That'd be cool, but isn't that kind of what Atonement does for Disc?
Isn't that?
You put a thing on and you're doing damage so you're not draining the enemies, but you're doing damage and so you are draining their.
Yeah, but well, sure, but it could be similar to that, but it could be different. I don't know, like the effects would be different, like the flavor would be different. Sure, effectively it would be you're doing damage and it causes healing, but
Yeah, I mean, in reality, so many classes are exactly the same, with the exception of modeling and art.
Yeah, I mean, it would be really similar probably to Disc, but your spells.
I just want to see. I want to see somebody raise like 50 skeletons and just fucking go to town. Like the shit
like
Army of the
Master.
Dead. So do you still have Army of the Dead?
Yeah.
As a Death Knight?
Unholy. Yeah.
Yeah, so something like that, except 50 instead of 10 or whatever you get.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's like 8 or something like that.
But they're all temporary, right? They're all like
Sure.
running. They're like little dots that run around essentially for you. And every time you get dead bodies, you can raise more. That was the funnest part about it was Diablo 2, wasn't it? When you could go around just raising. Yeah, because there's a Necromancer in Diablo 1.
There is in 3 though, but I didn't buy it because I wasn't gonna pay for $15 for a stupid class.
Oh, I did. Oh yeah, no, I bought
if it goes on sale.
For
I'll
what,
buy it.
Necromancer? We didn't?
We did not get it for Diablo.
Oh no, I'm thinking of Elder Scrolls.
They put it on sale quite a bit though.
I'll keep an eye out for it. It might be interesting to play.
We played Diablo
But I do remember
3
the one
though,
in Diablo 2 though, because I also remember the Druid in Diablo 2 being pretty badass. not a WoW druid. Oh,
My-
man, I was doing that freaking Azeroth quest earlier, and I was, like I said, like I feel like my damage output feels like it's about 20% less. I don't know if it actually is. I'm not gonna measure it. I don't really care that much.
You were
But
pretty
but the
heavy on corruption, though, right? Before?
I mean,
I mean, to
I
the
was I mean it helped a lot, but even still, a few of the bursty abilities that Arms has just feels like they've kind of weakened just enough to be disappointing. Disappointing that we got to wait that long for Shadowlands to actually go up the curve again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does arms do a lot of AoE?
Well, it did.
Okay, that's what I was kind of getting at because they nerfed.
I mean,
all
not
the...
necessarily. I mean, it was. I mean, you have your uh, war stomp thingy. I don't remember what it's called, but it puts the armor crap debuff on everything,
Hmm.
and then usually blade storm through that, and then use your sweeping strikes to heavy hit double targets. But that's gone. The sweeping strikes isn't gone. Blade storm is capped at 8
Hmm.
now. I
Yeah,
think it used to be capped at 8 a long time ago too. And I think Whirlwind used to be capped at like 4 at some point. I think Whirlwind's capped at 8 now again as well.
I feel like they increased that cap because I feel like in beta it was at like 5 or something like that.
well, I know they like.
So this expansion has always been unlimited for Whirlwind and
Right.
Bladestorm.
Yeah, no,
Bladestorm was just really good
I think
at
it's
hitting
like
so many targets.
there's like a cap on what takes the most damage, and then there's fall off damage. I think.
Oh, I see.
Like you got primary targets that it hits, and then anything it hits after that, there's
Takes like
hit-
half damage or
something like that. I think maybe
For
some,
Whirlwind?
for some abilities. I'm not sure. I think AOE in
So
general.
Sweeping Strikes does that, yeah. Sweeping Strikes will
yeah.
do that. And then Whirlwind was a straight split, I think. Bladestorm was a straight like damage set per each one.
Hmm.
And I think Bladestorm was the same way. They just cap them now, so it's like there's no point in before I could just go around, farm up a bunch of mobs, stomp them with a debuff, and then Bladestorm them down. That was it.
Yeah.
Now I can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm going around this world quest one by one by one.
Yeah.
And I pick up 3, and I can blitz them down fairly quick. Not as quick as before. And this fucking druid just comes flying in to ding 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 ding. And I'm like, I'm sorry. It's such bullshit. I hate him. I hate him so much. I was still level 1 though, but
I mean,
yeah.
it just depends. It's the people behind the, you know what I mean? Like, I don't
No,
do that.
I would totally use that ability if I had it every single time.
I don't do that to people.
I
If
mean,
if I see somebody fighting to something, I'm not going to go in and steal what they're like. I go to somewhere else and pick up whatever I need to pick up.
yeah, I mean they weren't stealing anything. It's all instance per person type of thing.
Oh.
So they all get it's the Azeroth out of the ground, and you click your thing to
Oh,
to
yeah,
heal it
yeah.
or whatever. So everybody gets one, but
Right. Right.
just annoying. To
Well, the
see.
fact that they're letting you clear the area for them.
They didn't have to worry. Yeah, well, they so I had aggro. They didn't have to worry about it, but
Well,
fucking
sure, but
dicks.
were they flying? Because they don't have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about aggro even really. Then you just pop up
I'll
and
fly
then
out. Yeah, pop up and
come
let
back
it
down.
go
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
No, it's funny because overall for the patch, I don't think I still have done enough to see what's all out there, and I think that to me kind of feels really good because I didn't go do everything within like 20 minutes of being online in the first night. You know what I mean?
Well,
I don't
There's
think
plenty
there's
enough
really
between.
anything to do
Yeah.
right now. Like
Well, I'm
this.
saying like I was intentionally not leveling anything
Right.
additionally waiting for this, so
Right.
I feel like that's a whole good experience
Yeah.
to be a part of.
Yeah.
And then experiencing the like going through and hitting world quests and even doing the dungeon early and stuff like that, seeing the difference there, the drastic difference, right?
Mm.
Because it's always it's funny because we've been through this so many times in each expansion where they reset something, and I feel like sometimes it's like hit or miss. It's either it was really bad or it was really good. You know what I mean? Like we said, like depending on that exponential growth of the next expansion, that base was always really bad or really good. And this one isn't terrible, and it isn't great. So
Yeah, you don't
I hope that's
necessarily
enough to hold us over.
you don't necessarily feel as weak as we have had in the past. I think, right?
I think it's like everything considered. I think that the removal of corruption, like it's so minimal that I think you can blame it completely on corruption and not, think twice about it. It's well for me, like I know I can do that. So the only thing that feels bad about that now is that I had level 400 boots that now I have to find a replacement for because
That's
they had
right.
really good corruption on them.
That's right.
They
I
had really good
remember that.
corruption
I
that
remember when you
outdid my
got
like
those. The
yeah
blue boots, and it was like they're what, rank 3 something. It was like,
yeah
welcome to your end game boots. You
yeah
know? Yeah.
yeah because I stuck them in that add-on
Yeah.
back and forth and it
And it
simmed out much better.
yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But
It's nuts
um,
when you have something that you're excited because you think it's going to be an upgrade, and then it's something that is a lower item level is still better than it, and you're like, oh, really?
I mean, I won't lie. I think that was a really cool system. Even dying really quickly from stuff was kind of exciting. I can imagine it was exciting if you're running mythic rating or anything like that, but
Oh, you mean if
for
you had a lot of
me,
corruption?
yeah, for me it was
Oh,
exciting enough to keep high level amount of corruption and try to fight through it, get out of it, or whatever. Because I wasn't dying nowhere nearly as much as I could have because I had heroic leap. I
right.
was heroic leaping out of the circles when they would hit me. The dude would spawn up, run, hit me,
Yeah.
explode, and I would heroic leap out of it and survive.
Yeah.
Um, but
I liked I had Typhoon, and I could always shift and run, but yeah, it is harder. Like when we were doing rating and progression on rating, uh it was definitely you wanted to be underneath the 40 just because you couldn't handle all of the mechanics and
so there's
handle.
some spots I can't even imagine like
Yeah.
having because I know I didn't have nowhere near that much when we were rating normal. But that dog fight, I saw you guys on last night playing the dog fight, and
Oh,
I'm
it was
like, I can't imagine
terrible.
having the circle that I had last week
Yeah.
Yeah.
on that fight because it would have been like,
Yeah.
oh man, that thing was huge. I couldn't jump all the way out of it. It was so huge with my
Yeah.
heroic leap, and my heroic leap's pretty far. So,
And I
um,
mean, there's a lot of moving on that fight. You're constantly moving out of stuff, and having to reposition and the slows, and because your chances of getting them go up the higher your corruption is too, right? So
The higher your corruption
was
because it is not a thing anymore.
yeah, thank goodness. I'm grateful for it. I hated corruption. No, I didn't hate the corruption.
Concept?
No, I didn't hate the bad effects. I hated the good effects.
Because you didn't know which ones you were going to get, and everybody else seemed to get the good ones.
Yeah, well, I hated the fact that on half of the fights in frickin' Nyalotha, you needed infinite stars on, and I hate the RNG aspect of it. I hate the nature of it. I hate the fact
you know what
that
sucks about a lot of this stuff too, though?
what?
Remove the ability to buy gold,
Mm,
and then add the ability to buy gear with gold. Make all like get rid of the idea of bind on pickup or whatever, and just let it be a system of I don't know.
BOE
Like it wouldn't work that straightforward in the WoW world, but when you go back to a game like Ultima Online where anybody could use any weapon, right? You could use something and drop it, and somebody else could pick it up and use it. Like
right.
that's how that worked.
But if you're
And
doing
then
if you're doing that, you're essentially making it a pay to win game.
no,
If you're buying gold,
get rid of gold. Like get rid of buying gold.
so just make everything bind on equip, and then so all the people who just naturally have a lot of gold, who make a lot of gold, get all of the good items, and then
Well, how do you naturally make a lot of gold?
I mean, ask all the people who have that freaking dinosaur mount. Not me, because I don't have it.
I mean, that's fair. I don't. I mean, they could be doing.
People, all the mythic raiders, they sell carry runs. They have a lot of gold.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Like I said, like it probably wouldn't work so straightforward into the WoW universe as it is right
Yeah.
now. But the idea being like in Ultima Online, you know, an item would drop and it would be you could have a normal item, you could have a blacksmith item in a variety of qualities of it, because most people used the highest quality blacksmith item because it did more damage than some of the magic items did. So they would do that, and then some when you get you kill mobs in a dungeon or whatever, you could get chances to pick up magical items, identify them, and they had like in the first part of the game, it had a range of like up to 5 levels of magic types it could be, which were pretty phenomenal. And eventually those would destroy. You could repair them, but it had the reduction over time and would destroy, as far as I can remember.
So,
But you could take that and sell it, and somebody else could, buy it and go. But it wasn't like that was definitely not the focal point of the game like WoW is. Like WoW is completely gear focused. You know what I mean?
yeah.
It was, the highest level magic item. If you could afford one at the time, it's great. Like you could buy it and go use it, and then maybe by the time it destroys, you might have enough money to buy another one, depending on the market rate of what was going on. So,
Oof.
but they were definitely more throwaway than you would have gear in WoW right now.
All right.
But the idea there is that you could have that RNG, and it's way more accessible to you. You could have the wide range of RNG, and it's still accessible because, more than just you could work on getting that item for you, right? Even if you were a guild or something like that, you could work together to get to that point. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's obviously, like, yes, it's just working in the WoW world as it is right now, not even feasible, but
What if they changed
but the
it?
idea of having stuff like that would be very interesting.
I mean, I think they could do something like that with professions.
Well,
right?
yeah. So what if instead of bosses,
Let's not talk about professions, because I think they've fucked up professions.
No.
Make
with the last
professions
2
great
expansions.
again.
what if
Yeah.
what if instead of loot drops, you got broken pieces of something, and you had to gather materials and find a player character that was a blacksmith, a leather worker, a tailor, or whatever, to repair it.
That'd be badass.
So,
mean-
But people would again be pissed off because of RNG.
Right. Well, I feel like they could make it so it's like no RNG, so only one piece drops, right? Instead of like
But then you're gated. Now you're still in the WoW cycle there.
yeah.
Which to me sucks. I mean, I guess that's not bad, but I get tired of the same, like, I like WoW, the universe, I like the game in general, but I do get tired of, like, okay, well, you can't get exalted until, if you do the maximum amount potential, you can't be exalted until this point in time. Like,
Right.
no, if I want to be crack, cocaine addict,
Right.
like,
I should be able to do
tweaking
it.
out, let me just go do it all. Like, give me that ability.
Yeah.
If you're not gonna implement something in the game that says you're exhausted, you can't do anything else right now, don't gate anything else in the entire world, right? Let's talk
Right.
about, like, put systems into this game like Zelda on Switch. Do you guys play that? The
Breath of the Wild.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Did you play it at all?
Mhm.
So it had the heat and the
Yeah. Cold.
sensitivity, and it
Yep.
would affect your health and stuff. Man, give us some RPG elements like that. Or hell, even like, oh, you blade stormed 50 times today and you're fucking exhausted. Go take a nap and come back. Or
I feel like you need to be real careful with that, because if you start doing that, you're heading the way of the mobile games, like with the energy
Yeah, I could see that too.
Yeah, like,
You
oh,
walked from the
I don't have any more moves left today. Well, let me
Buy
stop.
more sleepers.
Let me
buy
stop playing, and I don't know that they necessarily want that.
buy some gamer fuel.
Yeah,
You walked from the inn
Sh-
to the market. Take a nap.
Share with your friends to buy more gamer fuel.
Ask your
Yeah,
friends
no,
for
I
lives.
could see that too.
Right.
Um,
It's I think it's like a slippery slope. You have to just
but at the same time, like I could also see like something like that where you have to stop doing certain types of things in the game, and then go back into town and then work on your sewing or cook some shit or go fishing or something.
I guess the problem is not everybody enjoys doing that stuff, and so then you're kind of forcing everybody to.
That's what sucks.
Yeah.
It's very much like an action RPG
Yeah.
like game, and I don't. Like I said, I still like it. It's just there's little things like that I wish they would just dip their toes into instead of they try all these systems like very lightly. They take very safe, measured risks.
Well, it's very
like there's some kind of big company making money. I don't know. I don't get it.
What money? It's very frustrating when a game forces you to do stuff that you don't necessarily want to do. Now, I will say in one case it actually worked out, but like from the perspective of BFA, I absolutely hated having to do PvP. I'm not a PvPer. It's not something I enjoy.
Why'd you have to do PvP?
Essences, I had to do PvP.
Conflict and Strife. There were certain essences you can only get for PvP.
And I hated it. I absolutely hated it. Let me do the things that I enjoy. I don't enjoy PvP. I'm a grown-ass woman. I know I don't enjoy PvP. It's not I like to raid. To a lesser extent, I like to Mythic Plus. And that's it. And I like to go out and do things in the world. And, that's one of the reasons why I love my druid. I love swooping through the air in owl form and then hitting the ground. No. And then hitting the ground. Shush. Hitting the ground in kitty form, running around in kitty form for a little bit, and then taking off again in bird form. I like that. That's kind of a neat little thing that I like to. I enjoy it. I know it's dorky, whatever.
No, Brian is
not dorky. It's just they just need to delete.
Anyway, they forced you in Legion. Pushed you towards rating normal or above in Legion because of balanced power, right? Because the balanced power stuff did not drop in LFR. So you had to do. So I found a raid group because we didn't have a raid group at the time that was doing it consistently. So I found a raid group that did it, and I met a bunch of people who have since come over and joined our guild, which is awesome. So in that way, it worked out, and I was kind of grateful that I was able to step outside of my comfort zone because I don't like to go into pugs and I don't like to go into, environments where I don't know people. And, it's always that, oh my God, are people going to be mean if you're, not doing amazing DPS, or if you are,
They're still going to be mean.
They're still going to be mean no matter what. Mean people are mean. And that's something, yeah. But anyway, it worked out, and that's good. But it was also raiding, so it was my comfort zone because I like to raid. But with BFA, like having to do it felt bad. It did not feel good to have to log on and be like, oh, I have to do, and I knocked it out in a weekend. But the bad thing was, so I stopped doing PvP, so I stopped getting the chest, right? So I had gotten rank 2 in Conflict and Strife, but then I stopped doing the PvP part of it, and then the season ended. And then I had to refarm all of that stupid honor again, or my arena rating. And I was like, well, F that, I'm not doing that. And I never ended up getting rank 3 in it because I'm like, I'm not going to do it again. It was terrible the first time, And I was lucky I got somebody to carry me.
Was that good for you?
Huh?
It
was good for me. Yeah, it was one of the better ones for me.
That sucks.
Yeah. I mean, and so that's why, like, I'm hoping that they're going to do better. Like, in the one chest that we're getting come Shadowlands will be better, even though I think their implementation is messed up because having to kill 10 bosses in a raid to be able to get a heroic piece of gear or whatever raid tier you're doing when there aren't 10 bosses is a little ridiculous in the
Is that
first
any
raid.
10 bosses or in the same raid?
In the same, I don't know. I'm guessing. I don't know. I'm guessing. But same thing with you have to do 10 mythic plus to be able to get 3 pieces of loot. And you only get to pick one of those 3 pieces of loot, right?
So what if you do less, you just get only one choice?
You get only one choice. And then
Oh.
like a backup, like the backup Azerite stuff or not Azerite, but whatever the equivalent of the currency is. And like there's some other backup choices or something like that. So I don't know. It's
Well,
a
at least
step
we
in
don't
the
have
right
to worry about
direction.
it for another 3 months, right?
I feel like it's a step in the right direction, but I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Maybe they're taking baby steps to go.
So it's not 10 bosses.
It's 10 raid bosses.
3, 7, or 10.
Yeah. 10
So-
to get 3, 7 to get 2, and 3 to get 1.
So you have an actual selection.
So you have an actual selection. Yeah. But they're not 10 bosses in the first raid, so you're going to
Is it
get
I thought it was.
No. I think there's like 8 or something like that. So it's like so you're going to kill 8 bosses in the first raid and get 2 pieces of gear that are heroic, and then if you kill the other ones in normal, then you'll get 1 piece of gear that's normal. Well, that's stupid. Why are you going to pick the normal piece of gear when you can have your choice of heroic? You know what I mean? I don't know. It just seems a little dumb to me. But
Can you see the raids already in the adventure guide? No.
There's only going to be one.
Uh,
I don't think there's any Shadowlands stuff in the adventure guide yet. I don't in the dungeon journal or anything like that.
isn't it in
They already have the map out. Why not put that there
yeah.
too?
I mean,
If
sure.
you get is it in Ask Mr. Robot? Like I know you said it's for the logging.
The only one is Nathrio.
Does it have bosses in there or
No,
No.
just has the levels.
Oh, okay.
So I got a random question. Are the Shadowlands different areas? Are they just like islands floating in something? Or are they like bodies of water between them?
No, they're like islands floating.
Or
in...
heaven water, I guess.
They're
Yeah, like sky, heaven
they're
water.
like islands floating. Like you go through a little animation to get to them, and
Oh.
I mean,
Oh,
I
you
say-
can't click on the Torghast map though.
can you click on? Is the map in there?
The map is in there. You can click on everything except I can click on them all because if I go to Revendreth, it's completely unfogged for me.
Oh.
Yeah, that's probably
Except-
not intentional.
I assume it's not. Yeah. Up top, there's a spot near Castle Nathria.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
kind of blocked, but I don't know if everybody's is like that.
Yeah, I
Every
honestly
other-
have not looked. I've just been so busy trying to acclimate myself with the changes. Like it's frustrating.
Yeah,
I was
it's-
so excited for corruption to be gone, and now that it's gone, I'm like, Everything else is like I can't get my regular rotation because we still have Azerite gear.
Well, you know what sucks is that you can't. In the past, you can always make the argument that the scale changes for the new expansion, and therefore you lose power because of that, or you gain power because of that, whatever it may be, right? In this case, it's hard to make that argument when we don't even know, when the expansion's coming out now.
Right.
It could be anywhere between, I hope no earlier than a month.
No longer. Or
No earlier. Like
Yeah.
Otherwise, it seems like it would defeat the purpose of.
defeat the
know.
purpose and then be extremely unprofessional.
Yeah.
To
You're gonna wake up one day and log in, servers are gonna be down, and it's gonna come back up, and you're gonna be like, "Go
like,
to
I
your
guess it might be kind of neat if it happens that way, but at the same time, I would consider it completely unprofessional to 3 weeks out, stop it, and then
Yeah.
release it. A few weeks later. Like if there's lots of stuff to get done, do it right and push it out, and let's go through that. But at the same time, it's hard to think we're gonna have we're gonna slightly be neutered in what we're already doing for a longer period of time than we have before, just because of the two patch, the two pre-patch system. We may get a boost from. Well, hell, are we even get a boost from the gear that drops in the event? So they're probably gonna be like normal or something
It's
like
probably
that.
gonna be normal raid loot, so it won't be if you're geared heroic or mythic, you ain't gonna get anything. It's just like every other pre-patch that has any type of gear. It's not gonna be.
Yeah, that's what I figured. It's
It's
just
gonna be amazing for my Shadow Priest though. She's
who
got
doesn't
like a,
have any gear.
She's got like a. She had like a 238 item level before the.
Oh.
Like all my DKs are
It's
gonna
be
be
like 80.
all my DKs are like item level like 50 something. It's
What was the base item level for BFA?
Just
At
Nyalotha?
120.
I mean, I was 477, so Mythic was
Well, I mean, when it started though,
Mythic drop 475.
it
When
was
started.
300. It was 335.
380. Yeah, 385 we got from Nazjatar.
so it was like high 200s, low 300s probably.
Oh, that's crazy. It's kind of like Legion. Legion was 835.
God, was it that high in Legion?
Oh, that was low.
Yes.
Because remember we ended at 960
That's
or
right.
990.
That's
Because
right.
legendaries were 1,000, weren't
That's
they?
right. Holy
Isn't that
crap.
crazy? And that's just
Yeah.
what, 2 years ago? A little over 2 years ago.
It's
That's
nuts.
insane.
Right? Like, I mean, I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm cautiously optimistic. They made Starfall great again, so I'm happy about that. It's not a shit button to hit, so that's good.
They brought back Single-Minded Fury. That's kind of neat. But
Wait,
I didn't
so
have
how does
two weapons to use, so
How does that work? Like, is it just you click that talent and you can? Is it a talent or like what is it exactly?
no, you just equip them and it's passive.
Oh, okay. Oh,
It's
that's
just like
nice.
before.
So-
It's you get a boost if you're using single. You get a lesser boost if you do two-handers. I
So
believe.
are one-handers viable with the boost? Like,
I
is
don't
it
know.
okay?
I haven't played
think they
Fury
are.
since Legion, into Legion, I think.
I'm happy because that means that I can I can dual wield the Thunder Fury on my warrior.
Oh.
I'm excited about that. I have a little goblin warrior, so they're gonna like dig into the ground.
You just wait. She's gonna be in trade chat, just double linking Thunder Furies.
Thunder Furies. Yep. Oh my god.
Did somebody say Thunder,
Thunder Fury?
plus a blade of the Windseeker? Thunder Fury plus a blade of the Windseeker.
Oh my god, no, I don't
Is there
ever
an
do
echo
that.
in here? Is there an echo?
Yeah, there's no. I don't have any. I switched over to Fury, but I didn't have anything to test with. So, the same with Prot. I should actually switch over to Prot and just see if there's a huge difference.
Oh, you didn't do the mage tower, did you? On a tank spec on a warrior.
No, I did it on Fury.
Because now you can dual wield maces or the flails.
Oh,
That's cool.
So
yeah,
because
that was the one I actually wanted to.
Yeah.
yeah, I was thinking about doing the paladin one, so I had both of them. I just never got around to doing the paladin. I did the warrior one and got it done. It took me forever to get the DK version of that done. Like it took me a long time to get Frost, to get the Frost one, and then I was doing the.
What does the flail animation look like? What is it attached to? A mace?
It's a stick with a chain and a flail. I mean, it's a flail.
I get that.
Does
but how does it animate when they do stuff?
Is the chain in just a long line, or does it have any kind of fluidity to it?
It moves around like it's on a chain. I mean, I don't know.
So do you kind of like to
Like, right?
I think it's
No?
just probably when it swings, it probably just straightens out. It doesn't. It probably isn't very. I don't know.
It's just a frozen stick of chain.
You're whipping that sucker around.
Yeah. Beat the shit out of him with this chain stick I got.
I don't know.
Oh my god. That's really about it, right? I mean, I have to admit, like I said, I haven't done enough of the pre-patch to
So
to really assess like
I mean, tonight we did a Mythic Plus. We did an 8, which is low, but we burned through it.
I mean, we burned through. I mean, of course, it's an 8.
And, I mean, tanking-wise, it felt all right. There were a few spots where I dipped down, and it could have been sanguine. That could have just been maybe the pulls were slightly too big or the mobs weren't quite right. I have to get used to blood tanking again because they gave Rune Tap as baseline, so I have that, which is a damage reduction, so I have to start using that again.
Is your bone armor centric to the build still?
It is in the way that I took Blood Tap, which every time you lose a stack of Bone Shield, it reduces the cooldown on it. And Blood Tap restores a rune. So I have 2 charges of that, so I can automatically restore a rune with it.
Oh.
So there's some interplay with that. So you got to keep your Bone Shield up. You can also do Bone Storm, I guess, but I don't think that's super viable. That's the.
Except for you could just walk around going Bone Storm.
I just have a pet that does that.
Yeah. I was just using that pet the other day because I was doing my pet battles and
that pet's hilarious. You hear this little Bone Storm.
That was so awesome. Getting that axe in that raid was the coolest
Oh,
thing in the entire
yeah.
world.
Burn Troll? Hell yeah. I don't think I ever got it until I was farming it so later.
I got it. I had to off tank to get into the raid, the 25-man raid, normal. And that's when I got it, and I got lucky because they did not like me.
That's all right. We were doing
when I
that
raided with
raid,
them.
and we were in this guild, and we were like the second raid team, and we were doing better than the first raid team. So they started like poaching our
people. Yeah,
Oh,
that sucked.
We left after that, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
Because it was like, screw you, you know? It's like, we're making progress and you aren't because you guys are stupid. And like, and then we started, that was 10-man. And then we started doing 25-mans and we were getting together. And then they started funneling everything into the guild leader's husband because he was a pally or whatever. So he could get the legendary and all that stuff, even though there were other people that were on like quest and stuff like that. Like he was getting all the primal serenite and all that stuff. And it's just like, what the fuck is this shit? Hated them fuckers.
you know what's the funny thing about the Lich King is what the fuck was that? Gear score.
Gear score. Oh God.
Gear score is the one memory that I completely delete out of my brain anytime I think about Lich King.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like just the PTSD of going back and thinking of the colors being blue instead of red or orange or yellow, your number, like that gives me anxiety just thinking about that time.
Luckily I never really did anything that
required gear score. Yeah. That's the beautiful thing about doing things with a guild group.
Yeah.
So
God, that was a terrible time.
So you said, speaking of the Lich King, right? Did any of you guys watch the new animation that they put out, or the new video that WoW put out?
There was a new video.
It's part of the like Shadowlands intro quest, and it's I don't know if it was called Abduction or something like that.
Like nobody knows where it pops up at yet.
Yeah, it's an in-game cinematic, and it basically it's what's her name, Whitemane, and it's the two of the horsemen, Whitemane and the orc that you do first, Nazgrim, helping Bolvar into Arcarus, and they're setting him down somewhere or whatever, and he starts talking about Sylvanas, and like it shows Bane, Jaina, Anduin, Thrall, and the skies are getting dark or whatever, and then like the jailer Valkyries come out and like take Anduin away and all that stuff. So it's setting up the point before we go, because that's part of the thing is spoilers, like leaders were getting taken. The people that basically were opposed to Sylvanas, that were trying to impede her, she is taking them with the jailer's force, and it's a pretty neat little cinematic.
I was wondering because, you start off beta.
Yeah.
up there.
Yep.
And so
See, I don't know if I
I was
think they
wondering
were.
why
I
they were
think
all
that,
up there.
Is that when the you go to Ice Crown and the
Yeah.
Mario pipe pops up and you jump in,
Boop,
and then
boop,
now you're in the mall?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wham, wham, wham.
Yeah, pretty much. Yes. I mean,
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Bowser.
there's some other stuff, but yeah,
The
that's
jailer's flying
essentially.
around in his
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
airship.
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Oh god,
Do-do-do-do.
dude,
Yeah.
it's so hard to for me to look at the way that Lich King was and see how badass Bolvar is as the Lich King, and then even going back and looking at the video where she rips the helm,
Yeah.
and then he's like this weakling. He perceives this weakling. I don't know, in comparison to what he was when he got up off the throne, right? Like obviously they're contrasting the difference in there, or comparing whatever. The you know how strong she is or the powers that she's gotten thus far
Right.
in comparison to what he can do. But even looking at some of the stuff from beta and him being like a quest dude or a lore point and stuff like that, it's so hard to like comprehend. I don't know. It's
Well, he wasn't even. Was he a paladin or was he just
No, I think
an
he was
alliance
just like a
soldier?
warrior-ish
Yeah.
knight.
He was
dude.
just like a knight or whatever, right? And then basically,
Let's double check that. I don't want to.
yeah, I'm not sure if he was part of the Silver Hand or not. He definitely was a servant of the light, if not a user of the light.
Oh, he was a paladin.
So he was a paladin,
Yeah.
and so
He was a revered paladin of the Alliance and servant of the Regent. Servant as the Regent of Stormwind.
oh really? Was that when Varian?
Well, isn't he the one that always sat in the very front of the statues that you go walk down
no, I
towards
thought those
Stormwind?
statues were of other
No,
people.
no, not the statues. Him. He was the one that was on the horse
Oh, I
right
don't
there
know.
the whole time.
Dude.
Because if you went in there, you get your ass kicked.
I don't know.
thought that was him that was
But-
always sat there.
But I mean, so he was only a paladin who was plagued and then basically saved by Alex Strauss's fire, which put him in some weird state and didn't kill him.
that
And
he can turn himself different colors with.
well, that was obviously the helm's powers flowing through him.
He's like
But
human air conditioner. He's on heat. Max AC.
Oh.
yeah, a little bit of remorseless winter there.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Well, no, that was in the fight. But
When he turns, his thermostat is his mace, and he just clicks it over to.
right. So
So
I mean, it
cool.
makes sense, I guess, that with the helm gone, the Lich King is gone, and at that point, I mean, he's just
Yeah, I guess
He's
my
not
point more
really-
so like it's really not Bolvar himself. It's the representation of the Lich King. How it's like there always has to be a Lich King, or all this stuff, and
well. It's gonna be
she
interesting.
just walks up there and rips the paper mache. And
It's gonna be interesting to see what happens, like how they treat that character, right?
that's
Because
true. and-
he was, I mean, he basically sacrificed himself to an eternal prison of keeping the scourge at bay. And now one, that ain't gonna happen. Two, it's just like, what is he gonna do now? I mean, he spent years doing that, and now it's just he doesn't even have. I mean, like, what's his power anymore? I mean, does he still have access to the light? Having been so close to death for so long?
Is he sore? Is he sore now because he doesn't have some
He's-
extra
he-
power and he's
well,
like
probably
burnt
got,
still?
He's probably got bed sores on his ass from sitting in that
Swamp
chair.
ass.
Well, it's not like he's gonna get swamp ass. It's a fucking
Frozen
throne of
swamp
ice. Yeah,
ass.
assicles.
Assicles.
Oh my god.
There's no doubt it's going to be an interesting story arc for for the Lich King itself, not necessarily Bolvar. I don't give a shit about Bolvar in general.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I think the Lich King's gone. I mean, I don't think that there is a Lich King anymore, right?
Yeah, well, even the roots of it, even found out the roots of it, and
Well, sure, like where the power was actually based in, where the
And hopefully it's not just a
Natherson?
side quest. It's just like, oh, by the way,
Oh, I hope that
and guess
it's.
what? You
I
can make your own.
I hope that yeah, you can all be Lich Kings. I hope that it's not just like you said, one little side quest where it's explained. I hope that it's bits and
If they're
pieces.
gonna put it to rest, if they're gonna end that mystery about in the lore, I hope they give it its what it deserves.
Right. Well, I hope that it's something that they break up and spread out. So as you quest through the stuff, you learn a little bit more here, a little bit more there, and all that stuff. And maybe even through later patches throughout the expansion, more gets revealed or more in-depth stuff. It's like maybe like in this first patch, we're gonna get like a basic outline of it, but we'll know that the Nathersim stole the stuff from the Rune Forger or whatever, and then it disappeared, and then we know that it was brought to Gul'dan and Ner'zhul and all that stuff, and then but maybe later on down the line somewhere we'll find out why the Nathersim did that, whether it was in service of the Burning Legion, or if there was something other going on with that, because I don't know. They probably were part of the Burning Legion at that point, and part of it, I don't know. There's just so
The
many.
Nathrezim you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Oh god, it's gonna be so juicy.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Well, when it comes out.
Yeah. Hopefully it is.
If it comes out.
You know what burns me up is that you both had the beta, and that just pisses me off.
Well, it's okay. You don't have to feel too bad because I haven't played it yet.
You really have.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you for sitting on your piles of cash and bathing in it.
What does cash have to do with?
I haven't spent it.
What does cash have to do with shit? Get out of here.
Bathing.
I want to go into this blind.
I know.
Not
and
me.
you know what? It sucks because if I had the beta now, after them pushing it out, I probably would just go ahead and play it, just because I'm chomping at the bits at this point.
The problem that I have with playing it is I don't like to pug. I don't like to play with people that I don't know, and not everybody that I know has it. So it's like I was playing with Zach for a little bit, and a couple other people had it, but we didn't do anything. You know what I mean? So there wasn't even enough people to have like a group to go do dungeons. That would have been cool to go do that.
Well, how much can you actually complete in the game right now anyways? Can you complete everything and learn everything?
People are doing Mythic Pluses. They're doing key runs to learn, the strategies for the keys and to test them out and stuff like that, and to test the dungeons themselves, obviously, to make sure that they're not bugged. I mean, they test.
Half the world's going to already been done with Shadowlands by the time we have to restart. So.
They are doing the raid testing for Castle Nathria, and for those. So I mean, there's a pretty significant population, mostly probably Mythic Plusers, who are doing dungeons in beta. Because they're min-maxers and want to, figure out exactly.
I said yeah.
Yeah. I mean.
Well, I don't know. That's all I got to bitch about. I'll have more next week. I'm going to level some characters on this pre-patch stuff.
Yeah, I am too.
Yeah. I'm going to run some dungeons. Like, I haven't ran dungeons at lower levels in so long.
Yeah, I feel like that would be fun.
To do that.
Yeah.
If you want to run specific dungeons, you have to probably be certain levels and be either in Chromie time, or you'll only be doing like BFA dungeons, I think.
Oh.
So you have to look into that. I don't know why
That's dumb.
it's that way, but I think like if you don't pick an expansion to level in, it assumes BFA. So then that's the dungeon finder for it.
So then that seems
sucks.
really dumb, because then they're splitting the player base. So say, I choose to level in Wrath and you choose to level in Burning Crusade. We're not getting the same dungeons, but we're the same level, and that means that
they should just add an option to
do whatever dungeons.
Random dungeon option for anything, because then that would just boost
Again, I haven't looked at it. That could
Well, Jim,
be.
this is all your fault.
Son of a bitch. I'm sorry. Let me go fix it right now.
Okay, thank you. Finally, something's getting done around here.
Woo.
I'll go write an add-on for it that'll just automatically talk to Chromie for you, flip your stuff, and just queue you for all the dungeons at once.
Yeah.
Awesome. You do that.
That's not possible. I'm just gonna say it's not possible and not do that shit.
Yeah, that just seems.
That's a good point, though. Yeah, it does make more sense if they would open up to all.
Yeah.
Like obviously, if you're in a certain expansion and you don't want to be pulled into a dungeon that's not a part of that, yeah, I wouldn't want to be pulled into that. But at the same time, if you just want to jump in a dungeon,
Yeah.
okay, put me in the pool of every single dungeon in the game
Yeah.
that I have access to potentially, and
Yeah.
let me go.
Because
And
I mean,
there's your pool of people.
think about how long you'd have to be waiting if nobody chose. Like, who's gonna choose the Burning Crusade to go level in when you can go level in like Wrath, or you know what I mean? Some of the better
Come on,
ones.
there's gonna be like
I would. I
tens
like
of people.
BC.
There's gonna be like tens of
Cataclysm's
people.
the one that I won't go back to.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Who's gonna choose Cataclysm to go do that when they could choose, any of the other ones?
I will, and I'll go
Oh my God.
and I'll go level in Vastgear.
Jesus Christ.
I would do
Shut up.
Cataclysm before WAD, just because the WAD intro line is so fucking long.
Oh yeah. I
When you start in Tanan or whatever.
I don't know. I liked
Yeah.
WAD. I liked the story in WAD. I thought they did a good job with the leveling experience in WAD. And
Yeah, no,
did-
I love the oh god, what is it? It's not Legrand. Frostwolf
Gorgrond?
area.
Frostfire Ridge.
No,
Oh.
yeah, Frostfire.
Frostfire.
I love that one.
Yeah.
With the ogres.
The
But
Ogres.
but getting through that initial intro quest was
Oh,
just-
where you have to
it's-
do where you're building your garrison.
God.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
not even
annoying.
just that. That part's not bad. It's just the maze that you go through with Khadgar at the very beginning.
Oh,
You
Tanan
kick
Jungle.
Gul'dan off, and then you pretty much set up the rest of the expansion and the
Right.
next expansion
Right.
off the battery power.
Gotcha.
Um,
Yeah. I forgot about that part, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got to run around there. I just hate that part.
And
so
then you
much.
follow through all around.
I mean, I did that recently 11 times
Oh my God! Really?
on all my DKs, dude.
Is that not one of the options where you can do something else?
No, you got
Ugh.
BC and Lich King, Mist and Kata, WAD, Legion, and then BFA. That was the leveling.
No wonder
progression.
you drink, dude. Oh gosh, that
I
sucks.
didn't mind it. It was super easy once you know what you're doing.
I don't know
Well,
what
did
it
you
is.
go
I
around
hated it so
collecting-
much one time I jumped off the side and swam away from the intro area to nothing.
I just
Just
always
let me drown.
I always do the collecting the treasures and stuff in WAD.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's one of the good. That
that wasn't as fast.
I think they got rid of it. It's
it
pretty
used to be
fast.
really fast.
Yeah.
It used. I don't
You
think
did
that
a couple of bonus objectives and then you collected the treasures and that was it. You were done.
I think they disabled treasure XP.
I think they did as
At
well.
least in Legion they did. In WAD they might not have, but
No, I think they've done it since.
Yeah.
Like for this, I think they have.
Oh, just now?
Yeah.
What about the World Quest XP? Is it still,
You mean bonus objectives?
or yeah, whatever?
Yeah, you get XP for that stuff.
Yeah.
It used to be a lot because we barely got.
Well, I did it.
We were doing Recruiter Friend. I think we barely got into Gorgrond a little bit.
And you
then-
already out leveled it.
Then we were done. Yeah, we were
Yeah.
done at that point.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, I would do pretty much most of, or I would do all of Frostfire. Not even all of it, and be out.
Yeah.
But I would queue for dungeons and do a few dungeons here and there
Yeah.
while I was doing that. You know, I would always forget to buy my potions of whatever the
ones
the experience potions
Yeah.
that you can get from.
Oh, yeah. I always forget about those. That's right.
Yeah,
A bunch of them aren't there anymore.
I don't know if those ones are there or not.
There's only like one left.
Yeah.
The rest of them are disabled now.
It was probably the WAD one, but I don't know.
I still have some of those elixir of the mind or something like that.
That's what it was from. That was from
Yeah.
the garrison.
No.
No, those were the ones that were.
Elixir of the
The
Rapid
good ones.
They
the-
dropped from something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have them anymore because
It's like a chest, or it was a
I want to say
garrison
they
quest or
took
something.
it out. They took them out, but they were like you could get them from like the missions and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I think that they're not in anymore, but I thought I heard mention that they had actually removed them from people's like inventory, but I don't know what character I would have had it on. So I have to go through all of my characters and look and see if I have them. But
Bad part is like anything like that. For the most part, they just redo the item,
yeah,
so you can't even use it anymore.
yeah. I mean, but
Well, okay. Like, I don't think there's anything much more exciting to talk about.
Yeah, I mean,
It's the
I don't
same.
know.
It's the same sit and wait, hurry up and wait system until.
It is. I don't think that the squish is that bad. I don't think that it was really super impactful. I don't think the loss of corruption is really that bad. We still have our Azerite power for what it's worth for classes that aren't impacted by it, like completely being the exact opposite of what their rotation should be.
Thank you for acknowledging that.
I mean, I'm not gonna not acknowledge it. It's a legitimate.
Yeah,
thing.
no. That's why I'm saying thank you for acknowledging that. That's nice.
Non-sarcastically, thank you.
Yeah, I wasn't being like
Shut up,
I
Ryan.
wasn't being passive aggressive or anything like that. Thank you. I mean that you know.
Yeah, and I don't know. Just wait and see. Hopefully, the Scourge will start attacking soon, and we'll know we're close.
We'll get there.
Yep. All right. Well,
We'll get
I guess
there.
thanks everybody for listening, and
Thank
this will
you.
be the end of this episode.
Yeah.
Bye.
Episode 7.
Is this 7? Jesus.
Wow, really?
7.
All right. Check us out on Facebook. I guess what server restart in is the page name, maybe. I don't know.
Oh my
I
god.
don't know. You could check us out at serverrestartin.com because I got the domain, but
Oh.
there's no website.
So you can type it in and wait for something to occur.
No, it's just
but
it'll be
nothing is
nothing
going
to go
to
to.
occur.
There's
Yeah.
nothing to redirect to.
All right. Well,
but I got it.
Sweet.
yep. Just watch for us, and you'll hear from us later, I guess.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.